I'm standing here in Le Pal together with Arnaud, the CEO. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
Maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit?
I'm Arnaud Bennett. I'm the CEO of Le Pal, Parc d'Attractions Animaliers, which is an animal park and amusement park.
All right. So you just opened your new ride, Champi'Folies.
Yeah.
It's an interactive dark ride, a bit small one, but it's really good. How do you think it turned out yourself? Are you satisfied with the attraction?
I'm very satisfied because first of all, it's a new attraction for us. It's very different than all the rides we have. We have family rides, we have roller coaster also, but we don't have inside ride. And this is a very good different ride for us because it's a good opportunity to give to the family to share a moment of an experience with emotion and sensation, and all family together. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to have the teenager going somewhere, the older person, the older parents going somewhere else. We want people to share their experience the day they have in Le Pal. So this is a good choice, and this specific creation is already a success, and people like it very much. So it was a pleasure to work with Triotech, BoldMove, and all the team, and the result is very positive.
So it's an interactive dark ride. Why did you choose for an interactive dark ride and not a regular dark ride?
Because we wanted to make something very different. We used to have a simulator in this place, in this room, and we've been thinking many years ago how to get up this ride, the simulator, because it was very difficult to find new movies, and it was quite obsolete, I think. And we wanted to make a modern offer with something very different that people don't find everywhere. And people are used to find dark ride, interactive dark ride in very big parks like Disney or other international parks, not in our range of park, regional parks. So it was a good moment to be the first to give this opportunity to the visitor to have dark ride interaction.
Yes. All right. So in France, actually, there aren't that much dark rides apart from Disney.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
do you think that is?
Because the interactive dark ride, they used to be a big ride with a big budget, and it's very expensive. And as it is something very different, every time we thought about doing this kind of attraction in Le Pal, we said, okay, for this budget, we better do a roller coaster because it is something very special, but. Special means also very attractive. So now we understand it with Champi'Folies. We know that we made a good choice. It was a good opportunity with this new range of interactive dark ride with acceptable budget, and it's a room 15 by 15 meters. But when you are in, it feels longer. It feels very nice and very spectacular. So we know now that we've been thinking for years about doing this kind of attraction, but this was the good moment, and this is the good one.
Yeah, and the attraction also has like an environmental theme.
Yes.
Why is that important for a park like Le Pal?
Because you want to tell a story. If you come to the hotel in the park, it's not just an hotel. It's a hotel that it's a new part of the experience of Le Pal. Here we are in Africa. In Le Pal, we want to multiply different experiences, and I think the dark ride with no theming is it's not as good as it could be if it had no theming. And the theming is participate to the general feeling of disconnected experience. And participate to the success of the ride. Sure.
Yeah. And
there's also, sorry about the theming, there's a small message a light message about environment.
Yeah.
And we are a park very much engaged in sustainable development. So, and the theming and the story with the mushroom that are invading the city because they are just upset by the human activity in the countryside with the pollution, and there's a small message that we like, so it's just very compatible with our philosophy.
Do you think that we can expect more immersive attractions in Le Pal, like dark rides or maybe other?
Nobody knows because we don't work like with a planning of 10 years anticipation. The next ride would be a Mack ride, roller coaster, and then we'll see. We have to work. We have we start to have new ideas on rides, and also on the for the animal park, the animal part of the park. And speaking about rides, I would lie if I would tell you we know exactly what we're going to do in 3 years. No, we don't know. We will see.
Okay.
But perhaps we are more open-minded now about innovation than we were before with this new kind of ride, which we love. So perhaps we will try to find more innovating ideas when we will choose our next attraction, perhaps.
All right, who knows? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Sven. I'm a project manager and product manager at BoldMove Nation. And I've been working here at the ride, the first Smash and Reload that we opened here in Le Pal.
All right, thank you for having us here on this presentation of the Smash and Reload Champi'Folies. My first question is, now that we've ridden it a couple times, what do you think yourself? Are you satisfied with the result?
Yeah, I think when we saw it on paper, we were convinced of the concept, and especially also with Benoit, with his experience in dark rides. But then every time I came here, I saw the pieces coming together, and then especially when almost everything was here, I was surprised by especially like the theming, and then also when you're inside the ride, when you have the sound, when you have the environment around you, it really creates the story that we wanted to do. And the experience that we wanted to give to the visitors.
What's your favorite aspect of the attraction?
I think it's the comical aspect as well, because we've worked a lot on the Too Much. It's an IP that's been in development for almost 10 years, and I was also helping with the process of their character, of how will they react to the different elements into the ride, and I think that is something I really enjoy of the attraction, and then to creating their world here. Even though it's very small, I feel we still managed to tell a story where you have different scenes, and yet it's very cohesive. It's a 360 approach.
And what do you think the most challenging part of this attraction was, the creation?
I mean, well, it was the first of its kind, so it's always looking a bit here and there how to solve the problems, and we were a big group of people working together, which has advantages. We had disadvantages. For example, an advantage was that when the testing, as we were working here in France, we were giving feedback, and then at the end of the day, the people in Canada were already working on it, so the next morning we could continue with the next batch of the next build actually of the ride. So it had its advantages, but sometimes it's also you have the time difference that you have to wait for one another, or
but actually you used this time difference a little to your advantage.
Yes. So at some points it was a bit of a challenge, but at other points we used it to our advantages, as you say. to make sure that we could continue at a faster pace to make the ride happen.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Okay, do you think that we will see more attractions, Smash and Reload, or maybe other dark rides from BoldMove in the near future?
I think that's a very easy question to answer, and that's yes. I mean, we are very open for parks to think with them and to see, okay, what is the best solution for your park. I think the Smash and Reload will fit in a lot of parks because they probably have an existing building that they want to do something with, or they are looking for their first dark ride in their park and they already have a bit of a crowd coming. So, but then if there are parks that want something very specific, we can do it as well. So we have a lot of knowledge and experience. We have a lot of great partners to work with. So I think we can really see some future BoldMove attractions everywhere in the world.
All right.
Yeah, I'm Christian Martin from Triotech. I'm a Vice President of Communication and Alliances.
All right. So my first question would be, what makes the Champi'Folies or the Smash and Reload different from other dark rides?
I think it's definitely that it's compact. You know, it's ultra compact, you could say. Here we have a full dark ride. I think you've seen the building from the outside. This used to be a 40 theater, let's say. And it's quite a small space. And you see the building from the outside, the first thing comes to your mind, there's no way you can fit a dark ride into this building. You know? So the compactness of the Smash and Reload solution, that's what makes it unique.
Yeah, and it's a dark ride with 35 meters of track, but it still takes almost 4 minutes for a complete ride. How did you achieve that?
Correct. So it's ultra compact, but we didn't want the guest to feel that it's like a really short, compact experience. So we added a lot of richness to it, and of course you have the scenes. There's 4 scenes, plus there's, we added reload scenes. So there's a task to be done between the scenes. So it makes it more busy, and therefore you feel it's a longer experience. And then on top of that, there's the theming that's quite interesting. In 3D and everything. You got cars, you got caravan, you got all kinds of things, and this richness adds to the experience, and then the guest doesn't feel that it's a short experience. And finally, we use rotation. Because we use rotation with something to see or something to do with the reload, it makes the experience longer. So you don't expect on a 35-meter track to have a 4-minute experience. You have it, and people don't see that the track is short because they're in the world. So
They're fully immersed.
They're fully immersed. Yeah. Exactly.
What was one of the biggest challenges for Triotech with this attraction?
I think that first of all, being compact when we did the design. I mean, we're working with BoldMove Nation and Benoit and his team. So there were 2 challenges. First, it's our first project together. So we've known each other for a long, long time. But as competitors, now we decided to work together, and that's fine with a handshake and everything. But then when you come to actually do it, so we built everything on trust. We know we have the experience and the capability. We know they have the experience and the capability. So we started building this trust together. So this was a challenge that went super well. The second challenge is exactly the design, because of the tightness. For instance, the distance from the screen. There's a minimum and a maximum in a tight space. It's very hard. The theming, and of course, when you have an existing building, there's always little challenges that come with that, because the building is not specifically designed for this attraction. It was designed for another attraction.
Are you satisfied with the results of the attraction?
Absolutely. You know, we feed on the smiles that we see from people coming out, you know, and here at Le Parle, they have a very wide demographic appeal from very young children to parents and grandparents, you know, because there's the animal side of the park and then there's the leisure side of the park. So, you know, this means wide appeal. And we see the smiles, and sometimes the bigger smiles are with the parents or the grandparents, you know, so they're not doing the ride for, you know, oh, my child's gonna have a good time, I'm just gonna go through the ride. Everybody participates, so we're happy. Of course, it's the first week or so, so there's little, you know, details, you know, visual or, you know, the cue line about the storyline. So things to fix, but they are fixable, you know, especially in the media-based ride, you can always modify even the content, you know, overnight, so to speak.
Yes. And can we expect more Smash and Reload attractions in the near future?
Yes, there's no announcement yet, but you know there's a lot of talks with other parks, regional parks mostly, because that's really the sweet spot for this Smash and Reload. And you know, of course, the first one is the most difficult, and now that it exists and people can travel and see it, you know, other parks in the industry, you know, it's gonna be easier for the other ones. So stay tuned for announcements. Hopefully in Vienna we can announce some other ones.
Oh, that would be nice. Thank you very much.